Greetings and salutations. I'm Jay Bird, and welcome to Classroom Film Strip Classics. Today's episode is the 1970 Sid Davis production Keep Off the Grass by Ib Melchior. The film opens up with a middle-aged housewife all hopped up on amphetamines cleaning her son's room when, to her horror, she discovers his stash of that evil marijuana. Tom, a 40-something looking teenager, has to learn about the facts of marijuana from his father while smoking a cancer stick and displaying his alcohol consumption, which is no doubt better for you than those jazz cigarettes that Tom smokes, while his mother cries her eyes out. Tom mocks his father, saying he's a smoker and a drunk. This discussion turns into a battle between the greatest generation and the baby boomers. Pops tells Tom how pot users experience fits of uncontrollable hilarity, dulled senses, lack of coordination, and concept of time, distorted outlook on life, chronic red eyes, lack of motivation, and no respect for authority. Tom feels, however, that marijuana makes you creative and expands your mind. Pops reminds him that it's illegal and he'll get in trouble with the law. But he wants his son to do more research on marijuana before he smokes anymore and gives him a magazine which talks about the ills of marijuana usage. Tom's buddy Mac reads the magazine and tells him that he knows where he can learn more about pot. The two go to a pot party where everyone is getting high as Tom hears his father's voice about the symptoms of pot use, including uncontrollable laughter and hilarity. Mac takes Tom to another place to further his education on the use of marijuana, and despite being stoned, he drives like he railed a whole 8-ball of crystal meth. He even blows through a couple of stop signs and nearly strikes another car. Mac takes Tom to a head shop where the clerk looks like a stoner on the cover of the Zigzag papers, who educates him on the wonders of marijuana usage. As he leaves the head shop, Tom gives some stoners some spare change, but hears his father's voice about the lack of self-respect and motivation that marijuana gives its users. Mac takes Tom to visit the stoner artist who painted the psychedelic artwork shown at the head shop, despite marijuana having no psychedelic effects on its users. If it was high on mushrooms or LSD, that would be a different story. Our visit with the artist is cut short when his brother-in-law is arrested for buying marijuana from a known dealer. The dude looks like Buddy Ripperton from the John Carpenter movie Christine. They all get into their cars and go to the police station to try and bail him out. The kid's sister, Bunny, is worried about his brother's constant need for marijuana, which causes Tom to hear his father's voice about potheads getting addicted. Tom walks past a display about the evils of marijuana in the police station lobby, which gets him thinking about how bad that stuff really is. A cop walks up to Tom and gladly asks any questions that Tom has about the drug and how it's a scourge upon society. The cop tells Tom about how chronic marijuana use will lead you to shooting up heroin and having to resort to a life of crime to feed your habit. According to the cop, 95% of heroin addicts started out using pot, and organized crime preys upon drug addicts to sell their product. He also tells Tom how having a couple of drinks after a hard day at work is much different than puffing on a joint because adults work and potheads smoke to escape from reality. Tom and Matt go to another pot party, but he doesn't seem to be impressed by being surrounded by a bunch of shiftless stoners. Latin pop star Jose Feliciano makes a cameo appearance. They must be hanging out at his pad. Tom wants to leave, but his ride Mac is living up to his name by trying to get with a stoner cutie. Looks like he's going to have to hoof it home. It must have been a long walk home because it's pitch black despite being sunny when he left Jose Feliciano's crib. Uh-oh, looks like Tom walked into the wrong neighborhood. Tom has a look of horror upon his face as he realizes that he's either going to get boofed, shanghaied, beaten within an inch of his life, or worse, made into a gimp. Tom looked out and just got mugged. Were they potheads? Who knows? They look more like drunks to me. The next day, Mac, who had a way better night than Tom, offers him a marijuana cigarette for free, but he declines it. But Dennis the Menace hits him up for a joint, and Mac is more than happy to chill the little dude out. Tom has a follow-up chat with his old man about marijuana and realizes that he's going to take a pass on grass. The end. This Sid Davis production was produced with the cooperation of the Santa Monica Police Department. Oh boy, we finished another Sid Davis film strip with an anti-drug message, this time about the ills of marijuana, which was aimed at junior and high school students despite the star of the film looking like a middle-aged, balding dad. This short film was directed by Danish-American screenwriter and filmmaker Ib Melchior, who wrote the story for Death Race 2000, scripts for Planet of the Vampires, The Outer Limits, Robinson Crusoe on Mars, and directed the films Angry Red Planet and The Time Travelers. Melchior was a spy for the OSS during World War II and came up with the idea and basic storyline for Lost in Space, which he helped create when he wrote the comic book Space Family Robinson, along with a screenplay for a potential film, but was cheated out of royalties when his script was cribbed for the Lost in Space television series. He sued for credit, but never received it. He quit Hollywood and focused on writing novels and plays in his later life. Tom's father was played by character actor J. Edward McKinley. Believe it or not, he was only 52 when this film was produced. He appeared in over 90 films, including 2 films that Ib Melchior directed, The Angry Red Planet and The Time Travelers. Here are some amusing shots from the film. Mac looking for spare change from the payphone that was in the police station lobby. Check out the glue sniffer file. Who knew abusive cops can bring along racial unity? The creepy flashbacks of Tom's father looking all strung out on pills and booze, acting like Jiminy Cricket while spouting anti-marijuana rhetoric. What's with the container of salt, Crisco, Vaseline, boot, bleach, and cleanser doing in this painting area? All that hot boxing that Mac did in his convertible gave it a permanent smile. Looks like Salvador Dali put some shoeblack in his hair and snuck into the pop party despite not being a known drug user, is looking for some artistic inspiration. And who can forget Jose Feliciano, the host of the pop party? Will somebody light his fire? Well, I'd like to thank everyone for watching another episode of Classroom Film Strip Classics. This is Jay Bird. Goodbye now.